On the 3rd of January 2009, a computer somewhere in the world, nobody knows exactly where, solved a mathematical equation. The solution created 50 digital coins. Those coins had no government behind them. No bank. No physical form. No office, no CEO, no customer service number. They existed purely as a record on a shared database maintained by strangers who had never met each other. Those 50 coins were the first Bitcoin ever created. Today, a single one of those coins is worth more than most people in the world earn in a year. And the person who created them, the person who set this entire machine in motion, has never been identified. Has never come forward. Has never spent a single coin from those original 50. They simply built the system, released it to the world, and disappeared. If that does not make you curious about what Bitcoin actually is and how it actually works, nothing will. So let us go back to the beginning. Not the technical beginning. The human one. The year is 2008. The global financial system is in freefall. Investment banks that had existed for over a century are collapsing in weeks. The United States government is printing hundreds of billions of dollars to rescue institutions whose recklessness caused the crisis in the first place. Ordinary people are losing homes, jobs, and savings while the architects of the collapse are receiving bonuses. Trust in centralized financial institutions hits a generational low. Into that exact moment, a person or group operating under the name Satoshi Nakamoto publishes a document. 9 pages. Quietly uploaded to a cryptography mailing list. Titled simply, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The document describes a way to send money directly between two people anywhere on Earth without a bank, without a government, without any central authority controlling the transaction. No intermediary. No permission required. No possibility of censorship or reversal. It was not the first attempt at digital currency. But it was the first one that solved a problem that had defeated every previous attempt. The double spend problem. How do you prevent someone from copying a digital coin and spending it twice, the way you can copy a digital file? The solution was the Bitcoin blockchain. A blockchain is a ledger. A record of every transaction ever made. But instead of being stored in one place controlled by one entity, it is copied simultaneously across thousands of computers around the world. Every 10 minutes, a new page of transactions is added to the ledger. That page is mathematically linked to every page before it. To alter any record, you would need to redo the mathematical work on every subsequent page faster than the entire global network is adding new ones. It is, in practical terms, tamper-proof. And it is maintained by no one. And by everyone. Bitcoin mining is the process by which new transactions are verified and added to the blockchain. Miners, people running specialized computers, compete to solve complex mathematical puzzles. The winner adds the next block of transactions and receives newly created Bitcoin as a reward. This is how new Bitcoin enters circulation. And here is the detail that makes Bitcoin fundamentally different from every government currency ever created. The total supply is permanently capped at 21 million coins. Not by policy. Not by regulation. By mathematics written into the original code. No government can print more. No central bank can inflate it away. When the last coin is mined, estimated around the year 2140, that is it. Forever. In a world where every major currency is backed by a government's promise and expandable at a government's discretion, the concept of digital scarcity was genuinely revolutionary. Bitcoin price in 2010 was less than 1 cent. By 2011 it crossed $1. By 2013 it crossed $1,000. The trajectory was not smooth. It was violent. Crashes of 50, 60, 80% followed by recoveries that exceeded every previous high. Every single time it crashed, the obituaries were written. Every single time, it came back. By late 2021, Bitcoin market cap had crossed $1 trillion. A currency invented by an anonymous person, backed by nothing but mathematics and collective belief, had become a $1 trillion asset class in 12 years. That is either the most remarkable monetary story in modern history, or the most elaborate
Let us talk about what Bitcoin is not. It is not anonymous. This surprises most people. Every Bitcoin transaction ever made is permanently recorded on the public blockchain, visible to anyone, forever. The addresses are pseudonymous, meaning they are not automatically linked to real names. But blockchain analysis firms, and there are now dozens of them, can trace transaction patterns, link addresses to exchanges, and in many cases identify the humans behind them. Governments know this. Law enforcement uses it regularly. The idea that Bitcoin is primarily a tool for criminals is both overstated and increasingly outdated. Cash is still significantly more useful for criminal activity than Bitcoin. Cash leaves no permanent public record at all. Now let us talk about the Bitcoin halving. Because it is one of the most unusual economic mechanisms ever built into a financial instrument. Every 210,000 blocks, approximately every 4 years, the reward paid to Bitcoin miners for adding a new block is cut in half. This is called the halving. It was written into the original code by Satoshi. In 2009, miners received 50 Bitcoin per block. In 2012 it became 25. In 2016, 12.5. In 2020, 6.25. In April 2024, it dropped to 3.125. The halving reduces the rate at which new Bitcoin enters circulation. Basic supply economics suggests that if demand remains constant and new supply decreases, price should increase. Historically, significant Bitcoin price increases have followed each halving event, typically within 12 to 18 months. This is not investment advice. It is a description of a documented pattern in a 13-year dataset. Whether that pattern continues is genuinely unknown. The Bitcoin volatility problem remains real and significant. In 2022, Bitcoin fell from $68,000 to $15,000. A 78% decline. In dollar terms, that represented the destruction of approximately $800 billion in market value in roughly 12 months. People who bought at the top and needed to sell at the bottom did not experience an abstract percentage. They experienced a financial catastrophe. The volatility that makes Bitcoin potentially attractive as a speculative asset makes it nearly unusable as a medium of daily exchange. You cannot price a sandwich in an asset that moves 10% in a day. Bitcoin regulation globally has accelerated dramatically. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission approved spot Bitcoin ETFs in January 2024, allowing ordinary investors to gain Bitcoin exposure through traditional brokerage accounts for the first time. Billions of dollars flowed in within the first weeks. Institutional adoption has transformed the market structure. BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, now holds Bitcoin. So does MicroStrategy, which has made Bitcoin its primary treasury reserve asset. So do several sovereign wealth funds and national governments. El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender in 2021, the first country in history to do so. The experiment has been economically complicated and politically controversial. The International Monetary Fund pressured El Salvador to reverse the policy as a condition of a loan agreement. A government was pressured by an international financial institution to stop using a currency that was designed specifically to be free from international financial institution influence. The irony writes itself. Bitcoin energy consumption remains the most serious unresolved criticism. The proof-of-work mining system that secures the network consumes enormous amounts of electricity. Estimates vary but consistently place it in the range of comparable national electricity consumption. In a world facing genuine climate consequences, this is not a peripheral concern. The counter-argument from Bitcoin advocates is that an increasing percentage of mining uses renewable energy, that the traditional banking system also consumes significant energy, and that the security provided by the energy expenditure is the point. These arguments have varying degrees of merit and are genuinely contested. So here is where the global Bitcoin story stands in 2025. A 16-year-old technology. Created anonymously. Backed by mathematics rather than governments. Adopted by some of the largest financial institutions on Earth while simultaneously being banned by others. Worth over $1 trillion on some days and significantly less on others. Praised as the future of money and condemned as an environmental catastrophe and a speculative bubble, sometimes by the same people on different days. What Bitcoin has definitively proven is that a financial system can exist and function and store value without a central authority controlling it. That proof of concept alone, regardless of what happens to the price, has permanently changed the conversation about what money is, who controls it, and whether those two questions have to have the same answer. The question that central banks, governments, and the 300 million people currently holding Bitcoin wallets are all circling is the same question that anonymous white paper asked in 2008. Does money require trust in an institution? Or can it require only trust in mathematics? Satoshi thought mathematics was more reliable. Given what happened to the institutions in 2008, it is genuinely difficult to